Howdy gang, Trailblazer Tim here. Today we're out in the forest and we're going to attempt to try to hone in our knife throwing skills. This ought to be good. Tropical storm last weekend, we survived that. It's back to normal, 90 degrees in the shade. Now, I by no means have ever been and never will claim to be a knife throwing expert. I'm a normal guy just like you. I like being out in the woods and stuff. Back in the day I had some throwing knives and I was pretty darn sharp, but that was many years ago. And outside of just using it for being outside and bushcrafting and stuff, I've kind of lost my whole touch on how to throw a knife accurately. In fact, I don't have anything really that fancy. I've got a old timer Schrade knife. My grandpa had this. He gave this to me before he died. It's an old timer. A little bit rough looking, but this is a badass little knife right here. It's got nice center point balance to it and everything. And that's what we're working with today. Now, I don't have a target, so I've kind of makeshift. Got some yellow paracord and just wrapped it a couple times around the tree, a double pine tree right here. And this is kind of where we are aiming for, is in this general vicinity. And if we're lucky and get one there, we'll call that bullseye. But that's what we're working with, so let's get started. Before we get going on this, I heard a lot of these guys, even on Facebook pages and on YouTube and stuff, saying, oh, well, I can't really go out in the forest a lot right now because it's just too darn hot. Believe it or not, as long as you have mosquito spray and some water with you, it's much cooler back in here than it would be anywhere else, unless you're inside an air conditioner. Now, there's a ton of different techniques and methods to throwing knives, and we're not all about doing all that stuff. I did learn a couple things along the ways, and I had to refresh a little bit of the memory, so to speak, and everything. There are special throwing knives out there. I don't happen to have one, but you can do this successfully with a well-balanced knife and stuff, which I have here. So the first thing that we want to do when we're getting ready to throw at a target and stuff is take your knife and find your center balance. That means balance it on your finger where balance is perfect. See that? That right there is where your grip is going to go. All right? Not up here, not down there, right in your center balance. Take that. There we go. Just like that, right where my center balance is. Next thing I'm going to do to hold this knife is I'm going to take my finger, my index finger, and I'm going to put it on the back of the spline like that. See that? That is going to be our throwing method, just like that. Now I'm going to show you what I do as a technique for accuracy. All right, a lot of guys have mastered the throwing of the knife, and especially spinning the knife. Or a lot of people like to say, well, you're supposed to throw a knife by holding it by the blade and stuff. Nonsense. Who cares? If you're good at whatever technique it is, it's going to work for you. Now, the reason why I hold this at a center balance with my finger on the back of the spine like that is because I am trying a technique to get as little rotation of spinning, because there's a lot more mathematics and calculating if you're going to get that to stick to your target and stuff. This is going to create as little rotation of the knife as possible to try to stick it to our target. All right, so when you're setting up for your stance to throw at your target, now this is me personally, this is my preference. I'm right-handed. I'm going to stand facing my target, and I'm going to take one step backwards with my right foot. So we're in this angle. And we want to keep from snapping our wrist. I don't want to do that because that creates spin. So when we draw back our knife, we want our forearm and our wrist to be one continued action. No snapping of the wrists. Okay, so now we're ready to set up and get ready to throw at our target. Right-handed, my right foot back, half a pace. I'm going to take the point of my knife and look straight down my arm, right to the point of my finger that's on the spline of the knife, and point directly at the target which I am wanting to hit. This time, we're going to raise our arm up in a 90-degree angle, so the point is pointing straight up. I'm going to come back with it, and as I release, my finger is going to actually slide off the spline a little bit, creating it to be more of a direct hit. On top of that, when you're ready to release, you want to release that when your arm comes down to almost a 45-degree angle. If you release too soon, it's going to go over top of your target. You release too late, it's going to go below your target. First and foremost, you want the accuracy of being in the middle. It's a fine balance, and it's a technique that's super hard to master. That's why some of these guys have been doing it for years and years and years, and I by no way or no means am telling you exactly how to do any of this stuff. You're going to have to figure it out yourself. Did you see that? First shot. There it is. Not a bad throw. There was the bullseye, our bullseye. So I'm a little bit off. Let's see if we can get a little bit closer. So if any of y'all are wondering how far I am away from the target, the camera is sitting right underneath it. I'm about 12 to 15 feet away. 3 for 3. Let's give it another shot. Bang. "30 shots, missed 2. That's 28 out of 30. Not too bad. And everyone that I stuck was inside of this yellow area, which represents our target for today. And I had at least a half a dozen of them that were right on where the bullseye is. Very, very, very close. Not too bad. I guess I got a little bit more practice to do. And then we're ready for some real adventure. That's all the time we got for this one. Thanks so much for hanging out and watching the nonsense once again and being out here in the blistering heat of Central Florida and everything. Thanks for all you guys that come out and watch my videos and comment, and the likes and the comments and stuff. If you get any comments about this video, I'm sure I will. Like I said, I by no means am a knife pro. I've just been out of practice for a long time. Back in the day, I was dead shot and I had really good throwing knives. But that was 20 years ago. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out with me. Until next time, I'll see y'all on the next adventure. Take care.